Happiest of Fridays, everybody. It is time for Pilates yet again. The week goes slowly but quickly, and I'm happy to be back here for a little Friday wind down. Grab your cushion if you think you might want it for when we're on hands and knees. And otherwise, we don't need anything else except for a willingness to move at a pace that our bodies want us to move at today. So meet me up on that mat. And if you do have a cushion, we can place those cushions off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and stand midway through on my mat. Let's get our heels turned toward each other a little bit wider apart than our shoulders, and we'll point our toes out and forward toward the front bottom corner. Let's soften up our knees, bend them up a little bit, dropping our tailbones down and sending the crown of the head up to the ceiling. Slide your fingertips down the thighs, and if you feel safe doing so, close your eyes for a moment and just see what that does to your sense of stability. We may notice that eye closure introduces a little bit of sway into the equation here. We might feel ourselves shifting toward one side of the body or the other, or shifting forward or back, either toward the toes or toward the heels. Just sense what's going on in your body. Maybe we bend our knees a little bit more and send that tailbone down a little further. All right, we'll take a big breath in here. Exhaling, let's open up our eyes. And then let's draw belly and spine gently toward each other. We're going to get that activity through our seatbelt muscles right above the pubic bone, right below that belly button area, and then anything surrounding the sides between those lowest ribs and the top of our pelvis. Can we still breathe with activity there? If you feel like you're really clenching and not able to take a full breath in, let go at just a touch of that activation. Maybe let go 25% of whatever you have active right now. And now as we breathe in, we're going to feel our ribs open up out to the sides. And as we exhale, we might feel those ribs contract back in toward midline. Breathe in again. Exhale. And let's look up and down toward the ceiling and then toward that breastbone. We'll repeat that again. Look up to the ceiling, down toward the breastbone, and then let's look straight ahead and turn the head. We'll look side to side. Let's do that one more time. Over one shoulder, over the other, and then we face that screen again. Breathe the arms up and overhead, reach them to the ceiling, and then take those arms out to the sides and down. We're tracing a nice big circle with those hands. Inhale, arms out, up and overhead. Exhale the arms out and down by the sides. We're going to give our shoulders a few shrugs, take them up and down. And we'll take a few circles up to the ears, back and toward each other with those blades, and then drop the blades down toward the waistline. And we'll continue to circle for 4, for 3, for 2, and let's take it down one more time. And as we drop those shoulders down, we're going to hold here nice and tall, nice and steady, and bring those arms back overhead. Clasp your fingers if you can, and we're going to turn our palms to face the ceiling. As we do so, let's drop our shoulders away from the ears and press those elbows straight as we can. Maybe they go all the way straight, maybe they just straighten a little bit. We're going to go until we maybe feel a little bit of opening under our armpits, maybe a little stretch along the sides of the body. And let's keep our core active. Keep that belly drawn gently back to the spine as we take some nice tall side bends, moving that upper body toward the top of the wall to each side of us. Press through the foot, come up nice and tall. And let's repeat. We're going to be trees swaying in the breeze with our midsection nice and active to help pull us back upright again. Breathing those hands back up to the ceiling, we'll open our arms out to T. And let's see if we can turn our palms to face the ceiling and our thumbs to face back toward the walls behind us. We can aim to get our pinkies lined up with the front of our trunk just to open that chest up. If that's too tight, bring the pinkies forward so we can see them wiggling in our peripheral vision. And then think about lengthening those fingertips out to our side walls. Maybe from here we can stretch those thumbs back a little bit further toward the wall behind us, and we'll give a little pulse through our shoulder blades. Take the thumbs back, pulsing and squeezing the blades together for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands forward. Everybody should be able to see their fingertips in the peripheral vision now, and we turn our palms to face our screen. Breathe in here, and as we exhale, we're going to reset belly and spine toward each other, and let the arms follow the trunk as we turn that upper body from side to side. We're moving our upper body, our trunk, our head, our neck on that axis that goes head to tail. The pelvis and the navel are facing directly in front of us toward that screen. Breathe in, face the screen, exhale and turn. Breathe in, face the screen, exhale and turn. As we breathe in one more time, we face forward and then we bring our arms down by our sides. Go ahead and shake those shoulders out. We can bounce them a little bit if we want. And then let's step our feet in closer. Feet are parallel, toes are facing directly forward, and our heels are lined up with our sit bones. Let's take our fingertips and our thumbs, and we're going to circle the sides of our waist. Press the fingertips and thumbs toward each other. Feel those muscles underneath those fingertips. And we're going to again draw belly and spine toward each other. We'll feel our fingertips and our thumbs coming a little closer to each other. And we feel those muscles tense underneath our fingertips now. Lift up your toes, spread them apart, get that nice stretch across the instep of the foot. And then let's take the toes down. We can look down at our toes if we need to. Take the pinky toe down, stretch the fourth, and then the third, the second, and then the first toe, big toe down to the floor. Lift those toes up, spread them apart, tap them down. One more time, lift the toes up, spread them apart, tap them down into the mat. And as we press that big toe down into the floor, we're going to shift our weight forward. Hold the weight over those toes. Let's see if we can come far enough forward that we can unweight our heels. Even if the skin of the heels touches the floor, we're going to take our weight off of it on both sides. As we press our toes into the mat and shift the weight a little farther forward, we're going to feel the soles of our feet, our calves, and maybe even those hamstrings and glutes engaging a little bit to keep us nice and still. Maybe we can rise up a little higher, lift the heels up, keep the weight forward and float those heels back down. And let's rise up and down just a touch. The range is whatever is working for you, allowing you to keep the whole ball of the foot on the mat and nice and steady over those toes. Up and down for 3, for 2, for 1, and let's lower those heels. Shifting the weight right back over the middle of our ankle joints. We're going to shift our weight from one side to the other, one foot to the other foot, and we're going to feel those muscles kick into our fingertips as we load our sides a little bit differently. Notice both sides are engaging as we shift. So as we move away from one side, that side of the trunk is still working to help us keep a certain level of stiffness so we can stay balanced. Let's make circles around our base of support, going forward, sideways, and back to the other side. Imagining there's a stylus on the crown of the head, tracing that nice big circle on the ceiling. Pause wherever you are. Let's take that breath. And then breathing out, we take that circle the other direction. We're going to keep that circle going. Again, feeling those muscles kicking into our hands. And let's center our weight over those ankles again. Shake your legs out, shake your wrists out. And let's bring our feet a little bit wider apart again. Heels are now shoulder width apart, toes face forward, and our pinkies are going to rest right where our thighs fold into the front of the pelvis, right at the hips. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Let's bend our knees and tip that trunk forward, lengthening the crown of the head toward our screen. As we do so, we're going to feel those hamstrings lengthen out and open up. If you need more slack to let that back stay nice and released, we can bend our knees a little bit further. We could also settle our weight back a little closer to the heels if you'd like. Resetting belly to spine, let's take our fingertips and reach them toward the floor. And from that reaching position, we're going to move into our row. Squeeze and release the shoulder blades. Our gaze is right down about 6 inches ahead of our toes. Squeeze those blades together, tuck the elbows in by the sides, and let's press the arms straight. Reach toward the wall behind. Press and press and press. Press and hold back. We'll take a big breath in. Exhaling, sweep the hands down by the thighs, and let's come up nice and tall to a standing position again. Big breath in. Exhaling, shake the wrists out, shake those shoulders out. Let's get ready to make our way down to the floor. Grab that cushion. We'll place it in the center of the mat and turn toward the cushion. We're going to back up a little bit. Bring those feet shoulder width apart. Inhale here, shrugging the shoulders to the ears. And as we exhale, we drop our shoulders down. We bend our knees and take that tailbone back behind us. We're going to bring our hands down toward our ankles. And let's come all the way down toward the mat. As we get our hands down to the floor, we walk them forward, inch those feet back, and let's bring our knees down to our cushion if we've chosen to use one. Just give yourself a little extra support there, a little extra cushioning. Big breath in here. Breathing out, we drop belly to spine and we keep our shoulder blades nice and still. Let's wag our tail, folding the hips from one side wall to the other, allowing the area to lengthen out right above and below our belt line. Let's bring that body back to neutral. We'll move to cat and cow, curling the belly up toward the ceiling and looking to the thighs for cat. Reversing that direction with the tailbone to the ceiling and the breastbone forward for cow. Again, curl to cat. Take it through to cow. One more time. Curl up to cat. Press through the heels of the hands. Reverse that to cow, pulling through the heels of the hands, drawing the hands toward the knees. Coming right back to neutral again, we're going to bring that bottom back toward our heels. Press your big toe and your pinky toe firmly into the floor so we get a little stretch through the toes. Maybe the front of the foot, maybe the back side of the foot near that ball of the foot. Coming right back up to center, let's turn the tops of the feet back down to the mat. Wag that tail side to side again, and we come right back to center. Take those toes together, bring your knees apart. So we're going to hold here, and then we press that bottom down toward the heels. Holding here, we're going to inch our heels of our hands a little closer to the body. Press the screen side hand firmly into the mat, dropping the shoulder blade toward the floor. Let's take our far hand out in front of us, lining it up with our head. Take a big breath in, reaching toward the wall in front of us. As we exhale, we take that free hand, we thread it through between our supporting hand and our supporting knee. We're going to slide that back of our hand gently along the mat or the floor, bending both elbows to lower that head toward the mat. Just a touch. We're going to get a little stretch against the far shoulder. Press those elbows straight again, and we take our hand to the floor right next to the other one. Big breath in. Exhaling, we reset belly to spine and press the heel of the far hand firmly into the mat. Unloading the other hand and stretching it toward the wall in front, doing our best to line it up with our ears. Big breath in here. Press through the hand as we breathe out, and we thread the needle through toward the far wall. Looking over the shoulder, we slide the back of the hand along the mat. We lower both elbows to the floor, and we gently drop down to lengthen out through the outer portion of that upper arm on the side we're looking away from. Breathe in here. Exhaling, we straighten our elbows, take that second hand right back next to the first one, and we lower our forearms to the mat. Walking the elbows back in toward the inner knee joint lines, we're going to shift our weight toward and away from the screen. And as we press our weight from side to side, we'll feel the tops of the inner thighs lengthening out, particularly on the side we're moving our body weight away from. Coming back to center, slide the hands toward the head of the mat. Inch those fingertips forward a little further if you can, and let's lower our forehead toward the floor. Maybe it touches, maybe it just comes to rest between our arms. Wherever we are here, we take a big breath in, feeling the back side of the body open up and feeling the area around the outside of the armpits open up as well. Breathing out, we drop to our forearms. We shift our weight over those elbows. And again, we reset belly to spine. If you do have a cushion under your knees, let's take it out from under us right now. And we come to lengthen our legs behind us so we can rest on those upper thighs. Pressing into the hands, let's send our breastbone up to the wall in front. Let the head go along for the right. So we're going to gaze forward. We're looking at the bottom third of that wall in front of us. Holding here, we breathe in again. And exhaling, let's squeeze our shoulder blades together behind the back. Press those blades forward toward the floor, lifting that trunk a touch further from the mat. Squeeze together with those blades. Press them apart. Squeeze and press, and one more time. Squeeze them together. Press them apart. We hold, pressing those blades down to the floor here for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Let's turn toward the screen, tuck the far arm underneath the body, and we're going to turn all the way over to our backs. Let's bend up our knees, bring them in toward the bottom. We're going to bring our ankle bones and our inner thighs and knees together. Flipping the palms up to face the ceiling, we allow those shoulder blades to gently melt down into the floor. Big breath in and exhale, nod the chin toward the neck. We're going to turn our head from side to side, looking toward our screen and away, feeling a bit of opening and a bit of length, a little bit more space on the chest on the side we're looking away from. Looking straight ahead, we breathe in again, and exhaling, we draw belly and spine toward each other, feeling that seatbelt area engage again. Let's slide our hands out and up along the floor until our hands line up as close as we can get them to line up with our shoulders. So we have a straight line from the tips of one fingertip on each side to the other hand. Let's rock our knees away from the screen and then toward it, keeping our shoulders pressed into the mat, our upper ribs pressed into the mat, and allowing the hip to come up on the side, moving our knees away from. We feel a little stretch through the waistline on the side we're moving away from as well. Let's breathe those knees back to the ceiling. Take the feet apart so heels are sit bone distance apart. And then we're going to curl that pelvis under. Flatten the low back, curling the pubic bone toward the breastbone. Release the tailbone toward the floor, allowing that low back to lift off the mat if that feels appropriate for you right now. curl, and reverse. So it's almost like a cat-cow lying on our backs. Curl and reverse. Let's slide our hands down toward our sides, press the palms into the mat. And this time, as we curl the pelvis, flattening the low back, we're going to squeeze our glutes and lift those hips a touch up further off of the floor. As we continue to curl those hips up, we're going to feel our low back lifting, where our ribs and our low back meet together are also going to lift up off the mat. And we're going to feel some length through the front of our thighs. Press the hands into the floor, lengthen those knees toward the wall in front of us. And we'll take a big breath in. Exhale, and let's lengthen our tailbone down toward the heels again, dropping one section of the spine at a time to the mat. And finally releasing our glutes when that tailbone contacts the floor. Rock the knees toward the screen, toward the far wall, and we come right back to center for another big breath in. Exhaling, we reset belly to spine, bring one knee up to 90 degrees, and slide the other knee up to meet it in tabletop. Float the arms to the ceiling with a big breath in, and exhaling, we reset belly to spine, gently flattening the low back just a touch further to the floor. Let's open one arm out toward the screen, and inhale it right back up to the ceiling. Breathing out, we open the other arm out to the side, and then we inhale it up to the ceiling. Exhale, open the arm to the side, inhale it up. Exhale, open the other arm. Inhale it to the ceiling. We're going to reach our shoulder blades up to the ceiling and drop them down to the mat. Inhale, reach them up. Exhale, lower them down. Two more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach those blades up. Exhaling, we drop them to the mat, and we're going to pull the knee farthest from the screen into the body. Roll the shoulders back and down, and let's slide our other leg out along the floor, pressing the back of the knee firmly into the mat. Draw that bent knee across the body, give a little wiggle into the outer hip. We'll come back to center, roll the shoulders back and down, and reset belly to spine as we look toward that kneecap. Keeping that slight chin nod with the gaze toward the knees, we drop belly to spine and hover our straight supporting leg up off the floor. Let's take that lifted leg toward the screen and back toward that far wall. Out to one side and out to the other, crossing midline if we can. Side to side, everything else stays still as we can keep it. One more time, out to the screen, over to the far wall, and then we stretch forward to the wall in front of us. Inhale that knee right back to meet the other one. Exhaling, we press our other leg straight forward and lower it down to the mat. As we press the back of that knee into the floor, we cross the other one over the body, giving it a wiggle toward the far wall, opening up through the outer hip. Inhale back to center, exhale, nod to look toward that kneecap, and we reset belly to spine. Hover that supporting straight leg off the mat, and we breathe it out toward the far wall, and then we cross midline over toward the screen. Take it away to the side and over to the other. Breathe it away and over to the other side, and one more time out toward that far wall, over toward that screen. Stretch that leg toward the wall in front, and we circle the wall in front, lifting and moving out of that hip joint. There's 3, 2, 1. Pause and breathe in. Exhaling, we take that circle the other direction. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale the knee in to meet the other one. Breathing out, we switch, pressing our opposite leg out to that hovered position, stretching our toes away from the bent knee. Circle the wall in front for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Inhale, and then breathing out, we take it the other way. There's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's lengthen that leg down to the mat. Hang on behind the lifted thigh and press those toes up to the ceiling. Give that knee a wiggle. We'll take it from tabletop upward, lengthening through the back of the thigh, and then let's wiggle through our ankle for 3, 2, and 1. Point the toes. We'll hover our supporting leg off the floor. Take a big breath in. Breathing out, switch legs. Lengthen those toes up to the ceiling as we press the other leg into the mat. Drop your shoulders down, and we bend our knee to tabletop and then stretch right back up to lengthen through the knee. Bend and straighten, holding there. We flex and point those toes for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Big breath in. Breathing out, reset belly to spine, and let's take our arms to the mat. We can keep our lifted leg reaching toward the ceiling. Keep that thigh perpendicular to the ceiling. If you need to bend the knee to stay there, that's fine. Trace some circles on the ceiling. We're going to start small. Maybe taking it a little bigger if we can keep the rest of the body still. Maybe slowing down that rotation and tracing an even bigger circle on the ceiling. We'll pause at the top and breathe in. Breathing out, we take it back to our small circles, stirring that hip in its socket. We increase that radius. And then we slow it down and make those circles bigger for 3, for 2, and for 1. Bend up that knee, hug it into the body, and release the front of the hip. We're going to take that knee out toward our screen and across to the other side. We'll repeat that one more time. Out to the screen, over to that far wall. Come right back to center, breathing in, and switch up on the exhale. Lengthen that leg down. We'll hang on behind that lifted thigh, kick the thigh into the hands, and lengthen our toes up as we straighten our knee out. Again, we're going for perpendicular thigh here. Reset belly to spine, arms come to the mat. Spin that hip in its socket, tracing those small circles on the ceiling. Make them a little bigger if you'd like. Slow it down, make them a little bigger for 3, for 2, for 1. Breathe in at the top. Exhaling, let's start those circles small the other direction. A little bigger. Slow it down, make them bigger for 3, for 2, for 1. Inhale at the top, hold it here. Bend that knee into the body, hug it in, and release the front of the hip. Take that knee out toward the far wall. Take it across toward the screen and pull it right back to center. As we hug that knee into center, we're going to do our best to flatten that low back gently into the mat. And we slide our other knee up to meet that first leg. If you can, clasp your fingers together and rock the body side to side. And as we do so, we should feel our low back melt into the mat. Picture a little space from between each vertebra as we go. Come on back to center, grab those kneecaps, and guide those thighs up until they're perpendicular to the floor and the ceiling. Give the shoulders a roll back and down. We'll breathe in here, and we exhale belly to spine. Let's gently press our hands into the lowest parts of our thighs, and we draw our knees right back up to that tabletop position. Straighten and bend, toes to the ceiling and toes right back in line with our knees. Inhale and straighten those knees. Exhale, bend to tabletop. Inhale, straighten, exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. We're going to hold in there, resetting that trunk. And let's take our arms to the ceiling as well. Glue those ankles together, breathing in. Exhaling, we lengthen out to V with the toes reaching toward our side walls. Inhale, toes together. Exhale, open to V. Inhale, toes together. Exhale, open to V. Inhale, toes together. Exhale, open to narrow V. Hold it there halfway. And then let's move to helicopter. 2 semicircles with those legs. One leg draws a little closer to the body as we open the other leg up a little closer to the wall in front. Taking the legs out through the sides toward a narrow V as we complete our circles. Helicopter for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Toes come together, breathe into frog. Toes are together, knees are apart. Grab onto those shins. Breathing out, we drop our shoulders down toward the mat. If we have a little more slack to give, go ahead and leverage your elbows into the middle of those inner thighs and give the body a little rock side to side. Breathe it in. Exhale back to center, and let's circle our ankles one way toward each other. Circle in the other direction. We'll point our toes, reset that trunk, and lift the toes up a little higher as we reach our arms to the ceiling. As we press our toes together, we're going to feel those inner thighs activate. We hold frog here, big breath. Breathing out, we press toward the wall in front. Inhale to frog. Exhale, press forward. Inhale to frog. Exhale, press forward. We're aiming for the top of that wall in front of us. One more time, inhale to frog. Exhale, press forward, scoop the legs to the ceiling. And again, we slide our arms down by our sides. With those ankles glued together, let's trace some circles on the ceiling. Corkscrew. Maybe we challenge it by bringing the legs a little farther in front of us. Pause at the top, breathing in. And exhaling, we take that circle the other way, either circling the ceiling or circling the very top of that wall in front of us. One more time. Scoop the legs to the ceiling. Bend the knees to 90 degrees, and then we draw everything into the chest. Shake those ankles out and rock the body side to side. Big breath in, and we exhale back to center. Let's take our feet to the floor, arms down by our sides, and rock those knees away from and toward our screen. One more time, rock them away. One more time, rock them toward. We come back to center, breathing in, and we exhale, belly to spine. Let's squeeze our glutes. We're going to lift those hips off the mat and stretch those hips to the ceiling, lengthening our knees toward the wall in front. I want you to lift up high as you can, feeling the stretch in front of the thighs, activity in those hamstrings and glutes, but not so high up that we feel our low back doing all the work. Hold at the top for a second, and then we breathe out, lengthening down to the mat. Tap those rear ends to the floor, squeeze, and we lift right back up to bridge. Inhale, lower and tap. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Inhale, lower and tap. Exhale, squeeze and lift. We're going to hold it at the top and take it up and down on the toes for 4, 3, 2, lift and hold, big breath in. Exhale, heels down. Breathe that body down to the mat. Release the glutes once that tailbone's on the floor, and we rock our knees side to side for 4. Rock 3, 2, and 1. Breathe it back to center. Exhaling, navel to spine, squeeze, and we're going to lift those hips up to bridge again. Pressing our heels into the floor, we'll take one hip at a time and lower it to the mat, toward the mat, and lift it right back up. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Lower, lift the hips to the ceiling, big breath in. Exhaling, we bridge down. Release those glutes at the bottom, and let's curl that pelvis flat in the low back. And then reverse that tailbone toward the heels, lifting that low back up a touch if that feels appropriate. Again, curl it up, lengthen away, and we come right back to neutral. Big breath in, belly to spine on that exhale. Squeeze the hips, and we're going to lift right back up one more time. Holding bridge, we press our far heel into the mat. We're going to keep that leg on the floor as we march our other knee in toward the chest. Lower those toes down, tap the toes, and we lift that other side up again. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Press that foot into the mat. Take a big breath in. Exhaling, pressing the heel on the screen side into the mat. We lift our other knee in toward the body. We tap our toes down. Lift and tap. Last 2 and tap. Last 1. Press that foot into the floor. We squeeze and lift our hips one final time with a big breath in. Exhaling, lengthen down. Take the tailbone toward the heels. Releasing the glutes at the bottom. Let's cross our ankle on the screen side over that far knee. We'll let that knee come out to the side to its first natural stopping point. And then from there, give the body a side to side rock. Shoulders stay down. Let those hips move. Breathe back to center. Lift up if there's a little more slack remaining at that hip. Rock side to side again. Take a big breath in. Take a big breath out. Come on back to center. Switch it up. Ankle to knee. Drive that knee slightly out to the side to its first stopping point and rock the body. Lower half goes side to side. Upper body stays nice and still. Coming back to center. Lift that foot up off the floor if there's a little more room to move. And we rock. Okay, come on back to center. Unwind and give those knees a hug into the body. Roll the shoulders back and down. Big breath in. Exhaling, our feet come down, and we're going to turn toward our screen. Now is a great time to grab your cushion if you want it, and we're going to meet up on hands and knees. Once we're there, let's curl the cat. Take it through the cow, tail one up. One more time, curl the cat. Take it through the cow. Bring the body back to center with the shoulders nice and steady. Wag your tail side to side. Come on back to center. Squeeze through the shoulder blades. Press them toward the floor. Again, squeeze back. Press forward. Keep that core engaged. We're going to slide the legs back, finding plank. We can stay up on our toes, or we can lower our knees to the mat. Whether the toes are on or whether the knees are on, we squeeze and press through our shoulder blades. There's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Everyone bring those knees down to the mat. Hips are open toward the floor. We reset belly to spine. We rock the bottom back toward our heels, lowering the forehead toward the floor and opening up through the side of the trunk and those armpits. One big breath here. Belly to spine on the exhale. Press through your toes. Pull through those hands. And again, we bring our shoulders forward over our wrists. We're going to pop back up to plank if you can. With the knees up or down, we take 1 foot at a time out just beyond the border of our mat for a little tap. Tap and tap. Last 4. 3, 2, and 1. Toes back down. We'll take our knees down underneath our hips again. Curl the cat. Take it through to cow and come right back to neutral. Slide the screen, side leg back behind the body. We're going to arc it out toward our screen. Press that foot down into the floor. And if you have a little more slack, lengthen through your inner thigh. Drop that hip down toward the mat. Rock back toward the heels and then pull right back up over the knee. Rock back and take it forward. 2 more times. Rock it back. Take it up and over the hands. Last time, rock back. Take it up, press into the hands, slide the leg back, and draw that knee in next to the other. Curl the cat. Release it to cow, and come right back to neutral. Let's breathe our opposite leg back. Arc that leg out to the side, and we'll press our foot into the floor. Again, if we have a little more slack remaining, we drop that inner thigh down a little closer to the mat by lowering our hip. Rock back toward the heel. Come on back up over the knee. Rock back. Take it up. Rock back. Take it up, and we'll do that one more time. Rock back. Come on up over the knee, over those hands, and slide the leg back. We're going to leave it back behind the body. Lift it up to trunk level. Hold. Take the opposite arm forward. Hold the bird dog. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. Lengthen, lift, and reach the other arm forward. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch it up. Lengthen and reach. 4, 3, 2, and 1. One more time. Lengthen and reach. There's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hand comes down. Knee comes down. Curl through cat. Hold it there as we walk our hands back toward the knees. And then we rise up into a tall kneeling position. Take a second here if you need to organize yourself a little differently on that cushion. Keep those knees happy. And with the hands resting at the front of the thighs, we take a big breath in and we breathe out, belly and spine drawing toward each other. Let's lean the body back. Take your shoulders back. We're going to do our best to get them lined up over our heels. And then we come up nice and tall with the weight over the knees. Breathe it out. Lean it back. And inhale up tall. Fingertips and thumb to the waistline. Exhale, lean it back. Feel those core muscles kick in. Inhale up. The overriding feeling here is going to be of what those quads are doing, right? Lean it back one more time. And inhale up tall. Arms come down. Shake the wrists out. Let's take a seat on our mat. Move your cushion out of the way. And we're going to come forward with our feet lined up with the outer edges of our mat. Let's get our weight over those sit bones. And we're going to slide our heels forward to the first stopping point behind our thighs. If you have a little more wiggle room, you're welcome to straighten those knees out. We're going to slide our hands out along the thighs, bring them up to shoulder level, and turn the palms to face in. Open the arms out till they're resting just shy of trunk level, and we take a big breath in. Breathing out, we engage belly to spine, and let's turn that body toward our screen. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, turn the other way. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, turn. Inhale, face forward, and exhale, turn. Inhale, face that wall in front. We'll take our hands down by our sides. Let's bring our legs forward, shake them out, and bend up the knees. We're going to keep our heels on the floor. Walk those hips a little closer to the heels. Hanging on behind the thighs, we're going to keep our elbows soft. And let's lean back, putting a little bit of weight through the thighs into the hands. Our arms are acting like little slings. We're going to reset belly to spine. Now we come up onto our tiptoes. Let's lift 1 foot at a time up, painting a line up the wall in front of us. Challenging the core a little bit more if you like by reaching the hands away from those thighs forward to the middle of the wall in front of us. If we want to challenge a little more, take those arms up, reach them to the top of that wall in front of us. Arms are effectively parallel to our thighs. With the toes down, let's rock our knees from side to side. Try to keep the trunk and pelvis facing forward. Keep that motion in those hips. Come on back to center. Grab the shins and we pull that trunk up nice and tall. Give the shoulders a roll back and down, and we take our hands back behind the body. Let's rest on the heels of our hands. We're going to drop our shoulders, squeeze the blades together, and send that breastbone up toward the ceiling. Inch your hips a little closer to the bottom. Feel those biceps open up. Feel that chest open up. We'll quiet down that hip movement, and we bring our heels a little closer to the bottom. Let's send our breastbone up to the wall in front of us. Assess your situation here, and if you do have a little more slack, lift those hips and reach up toward that reverse tabletop position. We hold it here. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower those hips. Go ahead and take a seat facing our screen. We can bring our feet in front of us like they were on the mat. We're going to shake our wrists out a little bit. We'll bring them by our sides. We can give our shoulders a slight roll back and down. And if you're comfortable with your knees crossed, you're welcome to cross those ankles in front of you. Our goal here, just like it was when we were initially seated, is to keep the weight over our sit bones. So whatever lets you do that versus making you tip your weight back is how I want you to have your legs. We'll open our arms out to the sides. Let's take a big breath in. Exhaling, we drop our shoulders. We're going to keep our arms moving with whatever our trunk is doing. So the arms aren't initiating, they're just going to go along for the ride. We reset belly to spine. Let's take a side bend, touch those pinkies, or at least attempt to touch them to the mat. And then we bring that trunk up nice and tall with a big breath in. Exhaling, let's side bend to the opposite side of the mat. Inhale up tall. Repeat at a speed that makes sense for you. And I want you to focus on keeping your sit bones down. If you want to challenge that trunk a little further, once those pinkies come down, the opposite arm can reach up and over. Spring up nice and tall, breathing out. We take our other hand down, reach up and over. We'll do one more time on each side. Exhale, side bend and reach. Inhale up tall. Last time, side bend, reach. Inhale up tall with those fingertips on the mat. Let's shrug and release our shoulders. Turn and look side to side. We'll face our screen, and then let's make our way down to the mat, resting on our side. We'll bend up our knees, bringing them forward. And let's lift that waistline from the mat. With the top hand on that waistline, we take our top knee up and down for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knee down and we lift to hydrants. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to hip height. Circle that top leg. We're spinning from our hip. That knee's moving in circles. Reverse it. 3, 2, 1. Pause in hydrant and we swing our leg forward and back. Again, swing it forward. Press it back. Forward and back. One more time. Swing it forward. Press it back. Hold it there and straighten out your legs. See if you can keep your hands on your hips. If you need more stability, we can bring that top hand to the floor. We're going to flex that top foot, swing it forward, point it back. Flex and swing it forward, point it back. Flex it forward, point it back. One more time, flex it forward, point it back. We circle that top leg forward. 3, 2, and 1, and backward. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse it up and down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. Sliding that bottom leg back. We line it up with our top leg. Again, if we need the top hand on the mat for support, go ahead and bring it there. And we bring that bottom leg up and down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take that top leg down. Bend the knees up. Give your hip a little pat. And let's take ourselves up and over to the other side. All right. We are going to go ahead and lie down. We are going to bend those knees and take that top hand right to the waistline. Lift up that waistline and we take our top knee up and down. There's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that knee down. Lift up to hydrants. 3, lift 2, and 1. Back to hip height. Let's make a circle with those hips. 3, 2, 1. Reverse it. 4, 3, 2, 1, back to hip level, swing that knee forward and back. See if you can make sure you're moving from that hip joint so the back stays still as we can keep it. One more time, swing it forward, press it back, straighten out both legs. If you need that top hand down in front for stability, go ahead and do so. Flex that top foot, we swing it forward, we point and draw it back. Flex it forward, point it back. Flex it forward, point it back, and one more time, take it forward, point it back, circle that leg. 2 and 1, reverse that direction. 4, 3, 2 and 1, pulse it up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. Slide the bottom leg back. Top hand comes down to the floor for stability if you need it. Tighten up that bottom thigh, bring it up and down. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Top leg comes down. We bend up our knees and give our hip a little pat. Okay, let's turn onto our backs. Resting there, we're going to clasp our fingers, press those hands up to the ceiling, and turn that head side to side. Look straight up. We'll unclasp our hands with the palms facing in, and let's open them out to T. See if we can keep our hands lined up with our shoulders, stretching those arms out in a straight line toward our side walls. Keep them there if you can. Bring them down a little if you need a little less stretch on those chest muscles. And let's rock the knees side to side. We'll go toward our screen and toward that far wall. Let's repeat. Toward the screen, toward that far wall. Bring the knees back to center and the arms come down by our sides. Let's cross one ankle over the other. Lift up to figure 4 if we have a little more slack. And we'll give that body a little side to side rock. Big breaths in. Big breath out. Pause in the middle. We'll take our feet down and cross the other one over. Lift up if you have the slack remaining, and we rock. And as usual, I'll give you my reminder that the two sides might not be symmetrical. It may be tougher to cross one leg over the other. Don't force anything that isn't feeling right. Come on back to center, unwind, give those knees one more hug into the body. We'll take our feet down to the floor. Let's turn toward our screen. Make our way over to hands and knees, finding that cushion if we need it for the knees. And we find our all fours. Reset belly to spine. Let's open an arm out toward the screen. Spin the breastbone toward the screen, reaching the arm to the ceiling. Place that hand back down on the mat, press it into the floor, open the opposite arm to the far wall. Spin that breastbone toward the wall, hand toward the ceiling, and bring it right back to center. Curl up to cat, reverse it through to cow. One more time, curl up to cat, and through to cow. Come on back to center, give your tail a wag. And we come to center and turn those toes under. Press the bottom back to the heels. We're going to hold in this position with the bottom back to the heels. We curl again through cat to cow. Walk the hands back toward the knees, and we're going to settle our weight over to our feet. As we walk our hands back toward our feet, we ensure that we're going to get our weight over the front of our ankles before we come up nice and tall. That'll give us that nice firm base of support to rise to. All right, take a moment, get your bearings as we stand up. Meet me in the center of the mat, and we're going to widen our base of support. Get those feet a little wider apart than our shoulders. Toes turned out and the weights toward those heels. Shake out your wrists. Shrug and release those shoulders. Let's look up and down. Let's look forward, and we turn our head to look side to side. We'll look forward again, and let's tip that head side to side, ear to shoulder on each, before bringing the head up nice and tall. Inhale, arms come up and overhead, and breathing out, we take them to the sides and down by the thighs. Let's step our feet together. We'll close with one more big breath in, arms out and overhead. Look to the fingertips as we press those hands together. And we breathe right to our center. All right, time for the weekend. I hope everybody has a wonderful one. Thank you for sticking with me in my lateness, and I'll see you all again next time. Thanks.